Take a look how they got here. Jimmy Gulibon, the number 8 seed, he was able to go ahead and beat, in this match, he was able to go ahead and beat Micah Jordan, the number 1 seed. And also in the bottom part of the bracket, number 3 ranked Anthony Ashnault from Ruckers, 8-4 winner over Danny Sabatello, who had a big upset over Tommy Thorne in the quarterfinals.
And that's why Jimmy Gulibon, the number 8 seed, who had the upset over the undefeated Micah Jordan, is our today's Coyote Logistics No Excuses Impact Wrestler. There's Anthony Ashnault and Jimmy Gulibon, our No Excuses Coyote Logistics No Excuses Impact Wrestler. Jimmy Gulibon, number 8 seed, big win in the quarters, and then follows it up with the win in the semis. Here he is in the finals, 5th place last year in the NCAAs at 133, but he's had his difficulties. Had a 4-match losing streak coming into the Big Ten tournament. Was only 10-8 coming into the tournament. Anthony Ashnault, Rutgers' first ever freshman All-American. And Rutgers, Jim, boy, is Coach Scott Dale, doing a good job.
Well, he really is. I mean, the state of New Jersey's got to be very proud of what this Rutgers program is able to do in this tournament in Iowa City. I don't think a lot of people thought in the beginning that this team would be some team that puts up 100 points. So both these teams, or both these athletes in this match right here, part of the fabric of the story. Of course, Gulibon with Penn State, they're a great lead that they have when you're number 8 seed to end up being in the finals. You're dancing in the streets, but Ashnault has really been part of a solid performance here by the men from New Jersey.
Rutgers also did a great job this year at the rack, their facilities that they wrestle in. They did great crowds, and it's just really doing a lot for Eastern wrestling there, the eastern side of the Big Tens.
These guys go home in a week and a half. The Nationals are just right across the river, so to speak, and they've got, they're going to be back in their time zone. Both these teams will be, and can't wait to be a part of that environment at the NCAAs at the Madison Square Garden.
That's March 17th and 19th, the NCAAs at Madison Square Gardens, New York City.
And Ashnault, he's a winner. 4-time state champion. Both these guys are 4-time state champions, and they just have those, winning styles. Maybe Gulibon a little bit more varied. But Ashnault really knows what he wants to do. He doesn't vary off of that stance there. He's going to keep his left leg forward most of the time. He's going to shoot that single leg. Very tough in the top position, and he can take you to your back when you try to ride him.
Gulibon got to the finals by getting revenge for 2 losses earlier this year. Both his wins there against Micah Jordan, and then in the semifinals against Gaza from Michigan State. Both those guys defeated Gulibon earlier in the year. Gulibon trying for his first Big Ten championship. Second of 6 Penn State finalists. We talk about Rutgers, and they're in 5th place. They've scored over 100 points, and yet this is their only finalist, but they have come in with so many placers, taking a lot to the NCAA, so that's even cooler, Jim, as you're crossing over the river, you're crossing over the river with most of your team.
Well, there's nothing better than having a packed wrestling room, in preparation for the biggest show that you have all year, and you have all that many guys qualifying for the tournament. They've deserved their placing, and they've been tough. I mean, I commend Scott Goodale, Donnie Pritzloff, assistant coach there. They've really had a great attitude, and they've been in these matches physically. They're tough in the top position. They're skilled, and I think they have the makings in that room of really advancing and bringing these wrestlers on.
There you talk about 2 top assistants, Donnie Pritzloff, associate head coach for Rutgers, 2-time NCAA champion at Wisconsin, and Cody Sanderson, twice runner-up for the Iowa State Cyclones, now his brother's associate head coach at Penn State.
Gulibon, nice jump there on the start. And then Ashnault, he's got just a really strong grip, and so when you keep your elbows out like Gulibon is trying to do right now, and you give all that opportunity for Ashnault to be able to control those wrists, and he is superior at being able to roll and tilt. That trapped arm tilt right there, big tight waist. See how he baits that, be able to capture the cross wrist and be able to stay with Gulibon. Now he immediately goes to rams it down there. He's back there with that cross wrist again. Now he's an opportunity to load him up.
That was a great job by Ashnault.
Yeah,
Driving it back into the hips and now scoring with the tilt. Ashnault with the grip you were talking about, Jim.
Yeah, just the way, the competition inside the competition was that who's going to be able to free those wrists, and Gulibon just stayed elbows out too long, and Ashnault was able to hold on to that. When he does do that, he just rolls guys over. And this is where probably the transition at this weight.
4-point near fall. Got 4 counts, got the 4 points. The near falls are either 2 or 4, depending on the count. And so Ashnault, who came into this match 27-2, his only losses have come to Kevin Jack from North Carolina State and Tommy Thorne from Minnesota.
And both those guys are guys that put up a lot of scrambles, and they're skilled in all areas, where Ashnault has just got one of those tournament styles. He finishes periods in the top position. Tough to score on. He can attack when he needs to.
Cover legal.
Important part of the match for Gulibon.
Go to it.
4-0 lead with the 4-point near fall. Ashnault from the top position.
Baited out again, but notice how he follows with good footwork. He's looking for that wrist. He's got it with the arm trap. Now he comes back. He's got him loaded up. One more time. Just excellent work there by Anthony Ashnault.
Tremendous control there. Never let Gulibon get hip separation. Was able to take Gulibon to his back again for a 2-point near fall.
And you saw where Gulibon was able to get to his feet, but he kept his wrist close to his waist. He was not able to fire back into him with his shoulders and get the hips away, and it made the difference. And I think a lot of that's just the anticipation of Ashnault.
Yeah, and Ashnault, speaking of, that's a great term, fire back. Ashnault's been able to fire into Gulibon this entire match, not giving Gulibon any opportunity to get that separation away. So, Gulibon chooses neutral to begin the third period. Not going to go underneath again.
Their front headlock position. And, this is a stage in the match right now. You've got a 6-0 lead, and you're into the third period. You got the riding time and everything, and you just don't want to. You just want to close it out strong. You've been dominant the whole match, and I think this is where you can see Donnie Pritzloff is on his feet. He understands this. It's a critical part of the match. It's a critical part of setting the tempo for your nationals.
Anthony Ashnault leading the way for Ruckers here in the finals, looking to become a Big Ten champion for Ruckers. And there's just been a look in their eye, Jim. There has been no fear from all the wrestlers from top to bottom.
They're tough guys. They understand what they're here for.
Break.
They make it a battle.
Fingers. Stalemate. First one, guys.
Stay out of that set.
Here's your 133-pound order of finish. Corey Clark, of course, winning in overtime in Richards. And then 3 through 8, Taylor, Conaway, Montoya, Giraldo, DeJulius, Alexander, and Malone. There's your top 9 at 133, and they all qualify for the NCAA championships. 9 at 133.
Look at that back arch there by Ashnault, being able to get the legs back. Now he's got the advantage position with Gulibon.
Wrestle here. Center in.
Staying in the mat, inside the circle, circling back in when he can. Again, you've been a dominant wrestler in one position. One takedown really puts the icing on a Big Ten championship.
Which would be Rutgers' first championship, I believe. And for individual, a nice job. Look at the ankle there. Drive through for 2.
Yeah, I tell you what, look, that's a good job by the corner at a critical time in this bout. Making sure that Anthony Ashnault was going to finish this match in prime fashion.
And he does. Congratulations to Anthony Ashnault. Last year, he was the first freshman to be an All-American. He gives Scott Goodale, Donnie Pritzloff, and the coaching staff a Big Ten championship at 141 pounds.
And Jimmy Gulibon was probably one of the major reasons why Penn State has a 14-point lead.
So there's your Ruckers Big Ten champion at 141, Anthony Ashnault.